Good night, everyone. So, welcome to our very first story time. Now, I had promised that I was going to give you story time soon or shortly. So, now is the time. So, welcome to the journey of Nickaiya from normal to CP. So, this is how it all begins. So, my daughter, Nickaiya, she's 8 years old. Uh, she was diagnosed with hydrocephalus at 2 months old. Now, I'm going to tell you how this whole diagnosis came in, what we saw, what happened leading up to the diagnosis. Now, Nickaiya was delivered via C-section, right? What Nickaiya spent about two days in the hospital before she came home. Now, after Nickaiya came home, we were there with Nickaiya for about a few weeks, yes, before we noticed, the head side, the head size, the forehead protruding, as maybe they would call it. I hope I'm calling the right word. So after we've seen Nickaiya changes, just like that, this pretty little girl now start having a different look, and we're like, So one day my friend called and she said, Nickaiya head look big. So I'm like, I see it too. So then now I was there for a time, concerned, not knowing really, I didn't know anything about what causes big head, or if a child's head is big, if it's abnormal. I wasn't thinking anything like that, right? So after my friend said that to me, her dad was playing with her one day, and her dad said, big head pitney. So I was like, you see it too, not thinking anything bad. Okay. Now my mom was visiting, so my mom said to me one night, Yannick, I'm gonna say this, I'm here from when, and it's bothering me. You don't see the baby head look big? And I say, I'm looking at it, but I wasn't thinking anything. She said, man, this is bothering me. I haven't eaten. This is how much it is bothering me. And I say, you know what? I'm going to take her to the doctor. Okay. The next day, I got up, got her ready, and starting to get myself ready. My grandmother came to the house. So my grandmother took her up and was playing with her. So my grandmother see her all dressed up. So my grandmother was like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to Saf, as that's our hometown. I said, my auntie was there. My auntie said, oh, she's taking the baby to the doctor. So my grandmother said, why are you taking the baby to the doctor? I said, her head look big. I don't like, it's a concern. And she said, nothing wrong with the baby, nothing wrong with the baby. And she started to, kiss and playing up with her. So, I wanted to get that reassurance that everything was fine with the baby. So I said, you know what, I have 6 week clinic within maybe a week or two. I'll wait until then. All right, guys. I waited until 6 weeks. Took her to the health center. Normally there is this elderly nurse there. She's the one that mostly look at them. But for some reason, God put a younger nurse there that day, because maybe that older nurse maybe wouldn't have noticed. That's what I am thinking. Didn't have to be that way, but that's what I was thinking. But anyways, I didn't choose who the nurse would have been that morning. That was up to God. So the nurse took, it was our time to go in. The nurse, we took her in. I took her in. The nurse was there, and the nurse was, looking at her. So the nurse was like, who your baby resemble? And I'm like, who have this big head? She was like, who have this head? Not big head. Who have this head in your family? I'm like, nobody. So she said, Mommy, this doesn't look normal. So I'm like, yes, I was noticing it too, but she said, this doesn't look normal. And she called in the doctor. So the doctor came in and the doctor examined her. Yes, that was the first time I knew that we all have two moles. I don't know if any of you all watching, maybe some of you may know, but yes, there's a mole here and there's one at the back. So the doctor was there, examining, feeling of the mole, and he was like, oh, it's not closed yet. And I'm like, what's not closed yet? And he said, he told the nurse, when you're done with her, send her around to me. So the nurse, as soon as the nurse was finished with Nickaiya, the nurse told us to go. We went to his office. He was trying to play it off cool and like, it's nothing, no big deal. Trying to keep me on that positive spirit. And he said, maybe the baby just have a big head, just have a big brain like mine. The head could be just big like mine. So, I was trying to remain positive. Yeah, like it's nothing big, because you're hearing that. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna give you a letter to take to the hospital. The hospital is right across the street. So I just took the baby and I went over there. I was just in time for the ending of the clinic that they have there. So God was so good. I saw the head pediatrician at the time, Dr. Mackenzie, and she took her, started doing the necessary checks. They know what they're looking for. I was clueless as to what what we're looking for, because like I said, I was clueless as to what could have caused the head to be like that. All right, she made a call. Yeah, she called Cornwall Regional. She spoke with a neurosurgeon. Okay, I guess he told her to have us go and do a ultrasound on the baby's head. So okay, we went and we did the ultrasound. So we did the ultrasound on Wednesday. We got the result and we took it back Friday to see Dr. Mackenzie. Dr. Mackenzie looked at it. She examined the baby again, and then she called the neurosurgeon, which told her that we should come see him on Monday. So today is Friday, and Monday would have been the following Monday. So we got up, we went to Montego Bay as early as possible. I think it was about 4:30 that we got there. So basically we were the ones starting up clinic, because we were so anxious as to what we're going to hear about what's happening to Nickaiya. So yes, we were the first ones there. We were opening up this place. So we got in, we sat down. Sorry, after we sat there, it came to the time for clinic. So we were there for a whole time, like there was no one there looking at us, and we're like, we're the first one here, and we're seeing everybody going in, nobody is calling us, and we're like, no, this, So eventually the doctor called us in. He said, Mommy, I can't tell you anything until I can see on a scan or MRI, to tell us what could cause the fluid. So we're gonna have you go and do an MRI. Look at this, guys. MRI is done on appointment basis. Now, how would I get an MRI just like that? Unless it's an emergency case. For me, I would think it's an emergency case. But going to the MRI place, I guess it's the everyday thing for them. It was like no movements, and we got there. Trust me, Father God was in the midst with a lot of things. And as I continue this story, you're gonna hear more about how God worked and moved and did wonders. Alright, we got there. They told us something. They're not unable to they're not able to do an MRI for her. She has to do a she has to come back the following Wednesday. Maybe I don't even remember if it was the Wednesday of that week or it would have been the other week. And I'm like, because they're gonna have to put her to sleep and she can't eat. I'm like, how are you gonna do that to a baby? She's not gonna be able to eat. Remember, she's a young baby. She wasn't 2 months old. Like maybe within few days she would have been 2 months old, right? How am I gonna have my baby not eat for the whole time? Then I'm gonna bring her in and then they're gonna put her to sleep and all of that. I'm like, oh my God. And I was there begging. I say, can't you just please, I can't take her back home like this, and the doctors, they won't look at her until they get something, and trust me guys, you're gonna have to tune in the next time to hear the outcome, how the MRI went and all of that. So again, I'm Yannick, I'm Nickaiya's mom, and this is our very first story time. I want you guys to like the story. I want you to subscribe to the page, leave a comment, and please guys, be positive. Now I will continue my story with Nickaiya, so tune in next. I guess turn on the post notification. You get a ping, I guess, when we post the next story time. Guys, we have a lot in store for you. We're telling you, we're going to be informing you about her diagnosis, the things that you can look for, things where maybe you can, by you looking for stuff, you may be to help. So until next time guys, I'm gonna say peace for now and good night.